Hey NFL fans, this is Gary Greene, longtime sports bettor and professional handicapper in Las Vegas for the past 35 years, and this is the Gary Wins videos, and this is your NFL Turkey Day middle course of the day preview between the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. And what I would advise first and foremost is that you go and eat the dinner portion of your day during this game. You won't miss much. You might get agita, as they call it back east, from the food that you're eating watching this game. If you're a Dallas fan or a Giants fan, God bless you. It's been a long year. But we have the 2-9 Giants taking on the 4-7 Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are a 3.5-point favorite. The total is 37.5, and there is no snow expected for this game. Surprisingly, I know it's a shock, but never forget way back in the day when Jimmy Johnson and the Cowboys had that snow game. So not going to happen tomorrow. Should be beautiful weather for sure. Couple of notes here on this game, and there's nothing that you could really say. This is as bad as it gets. But Dallas is 14-1 straight up against the Giants the last 15 times they met them. Dallas is on a 6-game home losing streak, which is stunning. Both of these two teams are now losing this season by basically an average of double digits per game. Points for the Giants, 14.8. Points against, 22.9. For Dallas, points for 20.1. And points against a stunning 29.0. But they did have Parsons and a couple other key defensive players out a lot, so numbers a little skewed there. But Dallas is now 2-12 against the spread their last 14 Turkey Day games. And it always made me just sick to my stomach as a Washington Redskins, now Washington Commanders fan, that this stinky team had to play every year on Thanksgiving, and they still do, as does Detroit. I never liked that, so I was always rooting against Dallas no matter what, unless I had a solid bet on Dallas for that situation of that game. But the last 4 Thanksgiving games, Dallas has gone over the posted total, which would take a lot of work here from the way their offense has played this year and the way that the Giants' offense has been. And that has been, they haven't even had an offense. I guess they took the year off. But here's some bad news for the Giants. They're 0-6 the last 6 games. Tommy Cutlets got his chance to be the starting quarterback, and he lasted all of 1 week. And he got whooped, beat up. He can't even hardly move, he said, and so it looks like Drew Lock will be in there. Guy finally gets another great opportunity to go in there and can't last for 1 week. It's amazing how these backups finally get their chance and they can't make it through a game or two. Let's see. We got the Giants now. They're the 28th pass offense in the league, 19th rushing offense. Not a bad running back in Tracy, but the rest of this bunch. Neighbors, unhappy. They have the worst head coach calling plays here. It's just unbelievable. You have to get the guy the ball. You got to figure it out. They've never figured it out the entire year. But this team is dead last in the NFL in first half scoring. They average 6.7 points per game in the first halves this year. So they're a little bit, I guess you can call them slow starters. How many touchdowns do you think the Giants have in the first half of the season, the last 7 games? They have a whopping 0. Donut. They're a Dunkin' Donuts special. Hard to do. It's the NFL. Pass interferences get called on every other play, and you can't put a touchdown on the board. This has just been an absolute disgrace. As far as the defense goes, 3 weeks ago, they led the league in sacks with 35. That's one bright spot that they had. And that bright star just twinkled right down to the ground. 1 sack the last 3 weeks. This is what losing does, folks. It breeds no effort going forward. It's going to be a long last 5 weeks for this New York Giants team. Now, how bad is the pass defense now when they're not getting any rush? Well, the Giants' pass defense is allowing 71% pass completions on the season. That is almost impossible to do, too. That is horrific. And it makes it worse now that one of their best defensive player, Ojulari, out. this team has nothing but bad luck. There's nothing here that would make me tell you in any time in this video, if you want to turn it off right now, if you were waiting for me to tell you to take the Giants, and I'm not giving you a pick on this game because I just wouldn't have the heart to make a bet like that. I'll give you a prop pick at the end that you could bet that probably should cash. But that's what we have for the Giants side of it. Now, Dallas, what would have and should have probably came into this game if my Washington Commanders didn't just collapse last week and not take advantage of every opportunity Dallas gave them in the first half. But Dallas is now they broke their 5-game losing streak, so they have something to play off of. But the prior 5 games, the Dallas Cowboys allowed 34-34, 27-30, and 47 points. Good news again, Parsons comes back 2 weeks ago. Last week he had a really solid game against the Commanders. He got 2 sacks. He made a difference. But for Dallas, they did still allow 412 total yards of offense to Washington. So they won the game, but a lot of crazy. It was the craziest game I've seen in 5 years, back and forth in that game. But the good news for the Dallas defense, we got to find some good news sometimes. I try not to just be a bearer of bad news, but the Dallas defense last week was only on the field for 24 minutes and 48 seconds. So they're going to come in with somewhat rested legs. Parsons' legs are rested. He was out for over a month. But the bottom line is that this is a short week. So that's the best time to have non-tired legs. So their rested legs may be the difference in this game. Who knows? Dallas basically has 2 things to their name that you never want in the NFL, especially, but college either. But there's 32 teams in the NFL. You don't want to be the second worst rushing team on offense. You don't ever want to do that. If you're that, you're not a winning team. In fact, you're one of the bottom feeder. Automatic. Can't run the ball, can't win. But on defense, they're the second worst against the run. You never want to be that, because if you can't stop the run, you're a bad team and you're going to be a bottom feeder. That's why they are that. When we look at turnovers for the season, the New York Giants -6, not good. Dallas worse, -9. As for the Giants here, no interceptions the last 10 ball games. So normally you might say, well, you want to bet a prop on that? And the answer would be no. But it's such a hard thing to go 10 games without intercept. You tip balls. Receivers have balls come right into their hands. Beautiful dime throws that they bobble and go up in the air, and the opposing defense gets a free interception. To go 10 games, this is the most disastrous season that the Giants could have had. It's shameful to think that this guy can come back as the head coach, Brian Daboll. He has done such a horrible job calling plays, offense, defense, special teams, having this team ready to play, halftime adjustment, never coming into the first half ready to go. You're scripting the first 15, 20 plays. You should be able to get a touchdown once in a while. How the hell can you go like the whole goddamn year without getting a touchdown in the first half? The guy should have been fired by now. It just drives me crazy. But we'll give you a couple of trends. Prime time TV games are 23, 16, and 1, averaging 47.6 points per game, which is, what's that total again? That'd be well over the total of 37.5. Next up, last week in the NFL, week number 12, we saw 10 overs and 3 unders. That's always good for the public because the public does like to bet overs. Over-under trend of the game. NFC East games now, the last 5 years combined, 19 overs, 5 unders, and 1 push. Once again, if you're betting this game, you're basically a degenerate, and you're not going to be a long-time winner. I don't care what side you bet on. At the end of the game, you'll be saying, if you lost, well, what did I bet this team for? Obviously, if you're even thinking about the New York Giants, you're just throwing money into the wind because it's just crazy to expect. You're expecting them to do something in this game when they haven't done anything all dang year. Maybe Drew Lock comes in and provides some kind of spark. I would hand off to the running back Tracy like 47 times, see if I can't get him 150 yards. That's what I would do. But the one prop bet that might have some value, if you wanted to have a little fun for the game, this Parsons for the Dallas Cowboys, one of the best defensive players in the league. Now, he's been hurt this year, so the numbers aren't there. Nobody's talking about him. He's not like he was the last couple of years in the MVP discussion. But Parsons to get a sack in this game, yes or no? I'd say yes. The last 3 Thanksgiving games, he has a sack. He had 2 sacks last week. He got a mojo back a little bit, getting his legs back. Again, they didn't play a whole lot of minutes on the field, so he's not going to come in overly tired or overly sore, especially when he hadn't played for a while and you get back into action. It takes you a couple of times to get back on track. He's probably back on track now with 2 games under his belt, so I would say yes to that prop bet. So definitely check out our really great full preview, a good one on the Lions and the Bears game. And don't miss that one. And then we have a video that I will be taping sometime later tonight or early Thanksgiving morning on the night game, which should be a pretty good one. The Miami Dolphins pushing ahead now, just 5-6, but they're gonna have an opportunity to make some noise here down the stretch. They're gonna catch Green Bay here on Thanksgiving night. And I'll give you some good trends on that game as well. There's some interesting ones, so don't miss that video. So bookmark us at Gary Wins Videos. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Enjoy your meal. And like I said, make the meal happen during this game. And then you can enjoy the first game and the last game because they'll probably be much better than this one. This one's going to be a hard one to stomach, folks. And hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving dinners. And may all your wagers be winning ones.